my very good friend. Um, and I got to know her like I think almost 4 years back when she was planning to come into IT. Today she's a senior test analyst working with Momentum Energy for more than 4 years now. So thank you, Neha, and welcome. I think let's start. If you would like to start by introducing yourself, like what do you like to tell about yourself to others?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Neha Handekar, and I'm a mom of two beautiful daughters. Currently, I'm working as senior test analyst with Momentum Energy. I love adventure sports. I've done scuba, skydiving, and looking forward to more. Also, I love cooking and yeah, those kind of things. So yeah, this is me. And yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. And Neha, like before we get into your Australian journey, since you are from India, what was your journey back there? Like, what were you doing? What's your background there?
Yeah, so I've done my MBA in hospital administration from India. It was a 5-year integrated program. So basically, I was operations manager over there, and I was directly reporting to CEO and directors in there. I was quite successful in there. So yeah, that was my journey, and I was thoroughly enjoying my profession back in India. So yeah.
And you did MBA, right? There, like you were,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it
yeah.
is a 5-year integrated program actually in hospital administration. So it gives all the knowledge, like we cover the topics related to doctors also, like physiotherapy and all the other basically clinical and everything we cover in there also. Other than that, we have also done the management and all the topics were covered, and there were always like training every year and end of year we were doing. So it was quite interesting and adventurous profession actually, dealing with people and lots of management, and especially with the patients and their family members and all. So it was really good experience back in India.
Yeah, and sorry for changing the view while you were talking. It must be
Yeah.
very distracting. Just experimenting with something. I didn't knew that only we both will be visible like this, but this is good as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting journey in India. So when you came to Australia, how did things change for you? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, it's been 11 years now. I was just thinking that, wow, it's been 11 years. So we came back, like we were doing well in India, but then we thought maybe let's move to um, maybe Australia. My husband got a project with his company, and that's how we moved to Australia. So it's been almost 11 years. So initially 4 years we were in Sydney, and then we moved to Melbourne. So it's been 6 years, more than 6 years in Melbourne now. So yeah, enjoying my time here.
And when did you decide to come into IT? What happened? Like you were not in IT before, right? So
No, yeah. So as I told you, yeah, I was in hospital administration. That was an interesting journey for me actually.
okay.
So when we moved to Australia, of course there were challenges because back in India, the jobs which were there in India for as an hospital administration, those were quite different than the Australia. And then when we moved, I was actually facing challenges that how am I going to get the job in here, and am I going to get the same, same kind of job which I did back in India. So those kind of challenges I was facing. I was talking to people whom I know. There were very few people that time when I came to Australia, and then I started exploring what we can do, how I can, get back into work. I was having first, like my first daughter, she was just 1 year old that time. So yeah, it was a bit challenging. And then I started exploring, I started talking to people,
Yeah,
and then I came to know that maybe I can start volunteering, because getting straight away job into any field in Australia, especially when you're changing the countries, it is a bit difficult. There is a I think work culture is different. People are different here, so they would expect many things out of you, which I think you are not aware of it. So what I did was, how I started was, did the volunteer job. That means you'll not get paid for it, but
yeah,
you'll get the experience letter.
yeah,
So in Westmead Children's Hospital in Sydney, I was working as a volunteer, which really gave me a very good experience with working with Australian people, and get to know them, and how is the work culture over here, because it is very important to know, in whichever country you are in. I think you should know, like, how the work culture is, how people work, what do they expect, what are, their expectations and all. So
yeah,
doing
yeah,
volunteer, yeah, job really helped me gaining the experience working here in Australia.
yeah. I think that's the thing. So there's a big cultural shift which I talk about other people, and I talk with other people, and that you're not the first one telling me. Although for some reasons, I did realize it didn't block me, but I did realize that, especially coming from India or other countries where we are coming from like really cutthroat competition, everybody is trying to be on top of their game. But
Yeah,
Australia is more about focus on mental health, work-life balance, and
correct.
so things like that. And then the way we talk, the values we share is a bit different then. And sometimes there are things that I would say, um, are a bit offensive, and we think maybe it's not, because maybe we are being narrow minded. So it's a different space I'm touching on, but that also comes up, like, what can be touched, like what can be what's the borderline when when you it's not about where you are from, it is wrong everywhere. So things
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
But I agree, yeah, there's a big cultural shift. And I think volunteer, and it's a good thing that in Australia there are things like, we can
Right.
actually volunteer. Sorry,
Yeah.
before we go ahead, I'm gonna change this view again. I don't want to
Yeah.
do it by interrupting you. So yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, as you said that in Australia we get a chance to work as a volunteer, and there are so many places that there you can work as a volunteer, and people are helpful around here. They understand that you're coming from different background, from different countries. So most of the time people are really helpful. Yeah, sometimes you'll face challenges, which I have also faced. Definitely you're going to face it, but it's okay. I mean, that's the part of learning, I would say, that coming to a new country and learning their ways of working, ways of talking, behaving, whatever. I mean, all things. It is a bigger change, I think I would say. So it was really good experience for me to work with hospital, Westmead Children's Hospital, as a volunteer. And from there on, I tried to explore, like, what else can I do in hospital industry, because I was operations manager over there back in India. But here the roles are different. Here the opportunities are different. You don't get be a operations manager having no technical degree as such. Like, it is quite different than India.
Yeah.
So that was again a challenge for me. Like, how can I, get the job which interests me? Yeah. So yeah, then slowly and steadily I got a job in hospital. Um, and then we moved to Melbourne, and then I got a job in hospital. And that was a really good experience again, I would say. Not it's not about only having a technical degree or knowing technical things, but it's more about the experience that you are, the work culture that you get to see here. It's quite different. So that was a very good experience for me.
So until this time, like when you were in Sydney and then when you came to Melbourne and you got this job, you're still in hospital administration, right? You're not touched IT yet.
Yeah,
So that
that's
that
right.
first part of struggle is getting into your original domain where you left it. Maybe something matching with that. I think it was not
Yeah,
same, but still some, at least your field of interest was still intact,
Yeah,
even though different role. And then there you got to learn about Australian culture and local experience. I think you got
that's
some
right.
references.
Yes.
Okay. So how did the thing, okay, just for everyone's sake, I know there's a huge crowd, so thank you everyone for joining. I think you can already relate to what Neha is sharing. We come to a different country, we face challenges, local reference, small kids, no family to support. It's like it's a lot to it's a lot of change. And then we have this financial struggles, and other things going on, lack of friend circle, where we can just went down on the weekends. So I think everyone can relate to this. I have a set of questions from Neha, like maybe a couple more, and then we can open the forum. And if you want to ask something, feel free to do that. But until then, it's just me and Neha talking, because we want to cover those topics like I picked up, which I know will benefit most of the people here, and then we can open the forum. So thank you again for joining. Yeah, so Neha, just moving on. So you now you're working, you got a good job in the line you wanted. So when did that, what motivated you to come into the tech side of the industry?
Yeah, so when I was working with hospital, I realized that this job, although there was nothing wrong with that job, but it doesn't interest me. Like the role and what the responsibility, what I had back in India was not similar to what I had in here in Australia. So I was thinking, where should I go? Like what other fields should I explore? So I just started, and somehow I had always inclination toward IT. It was always there. I always wanted to work with IT. So I thought maybe let's explore this field if I can get something, in that field. So that's how I thought let's explore IT, like what I can do. So I picked up the testing profession in IT because I thought maybe I started exploring, I started knowing IT, how the team works, what is the structure of team basically, and what things are required, what technologies are required, what kind of people, roles are required in the team, and all those kind of. I started educating myself basically in IT, and then I just started exploring LinkedIn, and then started exploring Seek, like what kinds of job are there in the market and what would interest me. So this is a sweet spot I think I found for myself. That okay, testing is like, testing a product. It's like, finding a faults and defects. So which we anyways do with our husbands, right? So why not get paid for it, right? So that's how I thought, okay, let's explore this profession, and
Yeah, I think from a
see.
business, like, because if we talk in technical term, initially
Yeah,
you were on business side, right? You were working on products,
correct.
and it might be, and because you were working in a stressful job, I think the
Yeah,
hospital administration, and we all know what how tedious it can get. So there might be challenges, why this app is not behaving this way, with the user
yeah,
experience and
right.
everything. So you could relate to it, that side of tech more when you
Actually,
want to.
yeah.
Yeah,
So we
that's
were
good.
actually using their application. So that's how you know how the applications work, right? Like how you send the request and how things work around the application. What is integration? How the system works, how the system
Yeah.
comes together. So those kind of thing I got to know while working in hospital only. Because when I was studying hospital administration, there also we had a subject as IT, and there also we studied all these field, like how the application is being made and what are the departments, the integration works in those department or those kind of thing. I had a bit of idea about it. So yeah, then I started, yeah, let's look into IT. What can I do in IT? So I basically went on Seek. First of all, I just educated myself, I saw that, what actually roles are there in IT, how the team structure is there, how many people are there in roughly, like it's just the vaguely I came to know that, okay, these if there are these many developers, then these many testers are required, these many BAs are required, this is the lead, this is manager, those kind of structure. I just got to know, okay, this is kind of the structure of IT team. And then I started, what is my interest? And as per the interest, I made a list, actually, to be honest. I made an Excel sheet where I jot down where what are my interest, and if I'm interested in, let's say, as a business analyst or as a test analyst or as a developer. So what are the challenges and how many jobs are there actually in the market, right? You can't just, I think my suggestion would be that if you are looking into IT field, it's a new field altogether for you, right? So I think you should have a bit of knowledge that, how many people are there and how many jobs are there in the market.
Yeah,
um, if you just start, um, following your interest and doesn't go, like, doesn't see what jobs are there in the
not
market,
research. Yeah, based
then
on
you'll
research.
be demotivated, very soon. So
Yeah,
it's
because
really, yeah,
it's right. There are products like SAP, Salesforce, and a lot of other things.
yeah,
Um, but which might not be good in Australian market, right? Like there's this Australian, so they might be
yeah,
used worldwide. We don't know. I'm not saying Salesforce or SAP is not used. I'm just these are the two names that popped out in my head. So,
yeah,
yeah, but I agree with you. So you did a research like that are there are testing jobs like maybe a
yeah,
bit less competition for you, and then you can bring your transferable skills, and
yeah,
then they might be accepting entry level, right? Like
yeah,
somebody who has business knowledge but who's
yeah.
new to IT.
Correct, correct. Yeah, yeah, that's right. And yeah, that's how I landed into IT. So yeah.
So did you put this, how did you put this experience, that transferable skills in resume? How did you prepare your resume and interview? Like, how did that go?
Yeah, so actually, when I started exploring IT, luckily I had like my husband's colleague was there who was into testing, and he actually taught me, like there was a program of 1 month, and he actually taught me. But there are multiple courses nowadays, these days, like in Udemy, in YouTube, that you can actually go and explore those kind of courses, and you can learn a lot from those courses. So for me, like I just started, he helped me with the learning, testing and all. Then there are also exams that you can give, which are actually internationally accepted, like ISTQB foundation level, and there are many other exams also in there. So those kind of exams I pursued, and then again he helped me with the resume. But again, I had the experience of hospital industry, so maybe you can also relate, like, you, if you have any experience previously, you can connect to them how the application works, so that at least in resume, while preparing the resume, you can see, like, okay, these points I know, how, what are the applications, how does it work, and those kind of things you can put in your resume. Plus, I would say, I think resume, when you're preparing your resume, you should always see what are the agents asking for. Um, these, what we usually do, or what we have the habit, even I had this habit of, preparing only one document, like one resume, and floating it everywhere. It doesn't work that way here in Australia. um, as soon as the job comes, you have to actually edit your resume according to their language that you are using, they are using, actually, so you should be very particular in writing those, picking up those words, especially because sometimes agents are not that familiar with the IT terminologies and those kind of things. So what they do is they just pick up the keywords, and they'll maybe search the resume and those kind of search. So I think you should be very particular what words, what technical words you are using. And if business, like if agents are asking for those requirements, then you should mention it in your resume, if you know. it's like just there are just different kind of words. For example, you are saying Salesforce, but somebody might call CRM. So those kind of things, you should always have those words in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
resume, in your yeah, so that's what I thought, that that would be a good option, to always go through the requirements first, what the agent is asking, and use those words in your resume, edit your resume as per their requirement, rather than just having one format and floating it everywhere.
yeah,
Secondly, I would say that always remember what you have written in resume, because they'll ask you from your resume. So it's always good to prepare that, what remember, basically mug up your resume, to be honest, thoroughly, so that you'll remember what you have written and how you have written. Prepare the examples for all the all kind of pointers in there. So yeah, those were the I would say that we can prepare the resume as per the requirement which agent is giving. And I would say, please don't write the thesis. Nobody is interested in, long kind of, we feel that, oh, it's 2 page, 3 page resume. It's so good. Yeah, we have got so many points. I would say nobody is interested into that. Have, just mention in a bullet points that what you are trying to convey, that these skills you have, these kind of responsibility you had. Just explain your project in just 2 3 lines. If you have experience, then explain your project in 2 3 lines. Just don't write a complete thesis in detail,
yeah.
because that wouldn't interest anybody. They just want to find the pointers and search your resume, and that's it, and shortlist your resume.
Yeah, while you were talking, I was just thinking of few things to, say to the broader audience. So, like Neha said, not to like to tweak it based on what the recruiter or the agent is asking. But there's normally a question comes, but it's not a good idea to change. So there's a bit of conflict. I want to just clear it. Neha is just talking about using those keywords, but your overall experience, like when you started, what was your job title, what were the projects you worked on, should be same.
Yeah,
Because
that's right.
if they are different, if you're tweaking that as well, then you're as a person, like on paper you become a dicey person or non-trustable. But so
Yeah,
she's just
yeah,
talking about those keywords. And I agree, like Neha, like you said, like long pages is something that maybe it was good again in other countries, but in Australia, it's for them, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, so it's not
yeah,
encouraged. Because what they're looking for is your main skill sets, and what they are given is, look, this is all what I used to do. So instead of focusing on the achievements or the highlights of your career.
yeah.
We have done, some of you might know our YouTube channel. So we have done in deep resume writing sessions. Some of them are for testing or BA, but most of them, like if you go through them, they are general tips and they apply to every field. And actually, we have done for testing also. So if you wanna, like, specifically, Harneet walked through how to create a testing resume and everything. So if you wanna go through that, I will be sharing that YouTube link in the channel, where we will, in this Facebook events where you all signed up. So that's good, Neha. So I think we still haven't reached exactly how you got this job. So you build your resume, you had done your research, you started applying. So how did that happen? How did you get the job? And
Yeah, so first of all, I think again I would say that pursue the courses that are there. There are plenty of courses. Keep your skills up to date, basically. Have the certification if you can, and if you want to have, there are multiple other links, sorry, websites where you can have the certification. Prepare your resume properly. You can take help from your friends, and as Isha said, like they are doing wonderful job. Isha and team can help you with the resume and all those stuff. And then preparing for the interviews, that is the important thing. I think people here look for your I would say approach, like how you are approaching. See, there could be possible that you don't know everything. It is okay not to know everything. But how you approach it, like how you show them that you are keen to learn. First, learn to learn and learn to adapt. Basically, I would say that. So that's the key thing. People want to see in you, that if you that you are positive enough, and then you are happy to learn new skills and adapt to new environment and those kind of thing. So that is the key thing, I think. Preparing the resume, and also, yeah, whenever you apply for the jobs, I think sometimes there are personal email addresses of the agents. They have the contact number as well. So I always make sure if there are any email addresses. So I'll personally email them as well, my resume and my just sweet small introduction to them. I'll call them. I'll keep in touch with them. I'll basically make the connections with them so that they get to know me. Like, introduce yourself, call the agents and introduce them that you are so and so person and you are looking for these kind of job, and I saw that application or that requirement in the Seek or LinkedIn and those kind of thing. So they'll keep you in mind, and that's how you build the relationship with agents also, and they get to know you.
Okay.
So that is the key thing, I would say, for getting an interview call, I would say.
Yeah, thank you. That's really insightful. And I think last question from me before we open, I think people have started putting questions in chat. So, um, apart from what you already mentioned, was there any other challenge that you faced and you overcame? Like, if you want to share something else.
Yeah, I mean, getting into, if you're non-IT background, then after getting into IT also, I would say you will face a lot of challenges. Again, if you are trying to pursue some role in IT, I would say don't pick up a big thing like for example, when I started thinking of coming into IT, I thought maybe I'll learn Java first, and it was too much for me. I got demotivated because learning Java is not easy. Like, I'm not saying that you cannot do it. It's just that the first step shouldn't be climbing an Everest mountain. It should be taking a baby step, right? So that's how I thought, no, maybe I should pick up such skill that I can actually pursue, that I can learn easily, and then I can work on those skills. So I think I would say that pick up the course which is actually you can achieve in some time, and um, don't just go for the short term goal. Just have a long term goal, long term. Because having a short term goal will not benefit you. Just be patient, and you will crack the interview. Don't worry, but it will take some time. Just educate yourself, talk to people, prepare your resume. And even after getting the first job, I was actually struggling because it was new environment, getting to know, learning the ecosystem, uh, working on system like emailing and those kind of is it is different than working actually professionally in the IT department, and educate yourself on the basic computer skills and all those stuff. So that was biggest challenge, is because I was not very much sure about the technical terms that they were talking initially. So it was all overwhelming for me. So it was always a challenge until now. That yeah, it's always a learning, and always upgrade your skills, learn new things. Now I've since I'm now okay with manual testing, I'm okay with the ecosystem, how the system works, what is integration. I started to learn, like I did learn API testing as well. And then now I learned SQL as well. Now I'm trying to learn the automation. So I would say take baby steps. You'll get there, and have patience, and trust your process. You'll get there. So that is my message here.
Yeah, I liked, yes. Like generally we do say to people that go, because manual testing jobs might be less, to go for automated testing. But if somebody is has not done coding before or is new to IT as well, because some are not, some are have experience in India with manual testing and they are coming. So maybe for them it's still a good leap. I'm not saying it's a small one, but they can
Yeah.
manage it. But somebody coming from non-IT into IT and then going directly into coding might be a biggie. and yeah, a bit more challenging than expected. There is a question in chat. Do you want to come off mute and talk it yourself? Say, ask it yourself. Is it Marzia Saida, or you want me to? Okay, there's a question in chat. Yeah.
Hi, Neha. Hi, Isha. Thank you so much for conducting this meeting. It's actually very informative, especially for someone who has no idea about IT. Um, yeah, thank you so much for that. So my question is for Neha. Can you able to please share what are the exact courses you have taken to start initial, to initially start and understand what is testing, how did you gain all that information and what courses you have done on what websites. Can you please give a little bit more information from that side, please?
Sure. So I started with learning with manual testing. I
Mhm.
think Isha has, or she will share the links with you. I went through with the colleague of my husband actually, but there are plenty of courses, and there are very good two courses with Udemy, which I have already shared the link with you. So you can pursue that. You'll get all the information about manual testing. Just go have that, learn that theory first, and then
Yeah.
it will really help you full. And through ISTQB, like there is ISTQI website actually, where you can give the foundation level exam. So I gave that
Okay.
exam, which helped me, like, but again, I would say getting a theoretical knowledge and doing a practical is bit different, but you'll
Yes.
get there. Yeah, but first step is definitely getting a theoretical knowledge, which I got it from Udemy also. After that, once I knew that how the manual testing work, how we do the testing and all, after I gave the ISTQB foundation level exam, I thought of maybe learning a bit of SQL actually, which will really help you. So
Yeah.
next step would be learning SQL. I won't say actual, like, just go small, like take a small steps. Don't just learn SQL. SQL is a big thing. Even I don't know as of yet, but there are just get to know what is SQL. How
Simple
can we work
queries.
on?
How do
Yeah,
you then?
basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And SQL, I would say, look, there's a lot of courses available online
yeah.
on Udemy and all, but there is W3 schools. If you haven't heard
Yeah.
about it, I'll put it in the chat. And the reason I like it is like they are very, like we used to do it in the books, like, they start small and they
Mm.
Yeah.
give you a space to practice the query as well.
Um,
So if you try that, so maybe you if you people are more like video people these days, like to watch, and they are small nuggets of information, so can be easily digested. But if you want to
yeah.
practice, I would say can go here and they don't have just um SQL, they have a lot of things like HTML and all also. But if it's only SQL, you can definitely go and practice there.
Okay.
Mandy,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mandy, yes. I'm not sure if it's Mandy or not, but your name is coming
Um,
Mandy on the team.
yeah,
So
sorry, I was on mute and just could not
yeah.
unmute myself. But my question for today is like, I think like half of the question was very similar to the previous person, that where did you do all those courses? And I mean, is there a way, because I don't have access to the questions and the links you're sharing in the chat. Is that happening to someone else as well or just myself? Because I can't see all those questions there.
So there's just one question from Marzia, who she already came off mute and asked the links. If you don't have access to chat, I will be putting those things in the YouTube recording. So this is recorded session. And the YouTube link itself, I will be posting on the Facebook event that we created and also on the WhatsApp groups generally. So in the description session in the YouTube channel, I will put these links. That's how I always do. Like, I put all the resources in one place so you can refer them later.
Okay, and is there sort of like, is there any help? I'm not sure if in this chat, or is there any sort of help that can be offered to the beginners learning these courses, like, for example, SQL? Is there any sort of help you guys are offering?
We know we don't train people, if that's what you mean. Like we don't teach SQL or any other thing. It's not the place for that. The whole Women in IT group is all about networking for women who are in tech, trying to get into tech and stuff like that. So it's not a tutorial or a training thing available with us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think when I had joined, like, look, I mean, I'm in I'm in the background, I'm in the IT background, but why I want to do the testing sort of stuff, like, automation and all. So, which is why I thought like this could be. But sorry, I think I've misunderstood the session altogether.
Yeah, no worries, all good. Thank you. I don't know if it's A. It's your name is not coming, but you have your hand up.
Yeah, hi Isha. I'm so sorry. There is some issue with my keyboard, so I just could not type my complete name. So I just went with the letter that I could. So sorry. My name is Gitika, and hi Isha. Hi Neha. Thank you so much for conducting this session. So basically, I understand that the session was basically for the people who are getting into, who want to get into IT, specifically from, Neha's perspective, like testing and everything. But uh, I just wanted to understand what tips you might have for someone who is, like kind of trying to immigrate from India and has a fair bit of experience, but only with manual testing in IT. They are trying to migrate. So, like, are there many jobs at the moment who, which basically have the requirement of manual testing? And, I just wanted to understand that thing. If you if you have any idea, or if you can give me a picture about that.
Neha.
Yeah, no. So first of all, um, have like you have experience. You said that you have experience with testing, right? Manual testing.
Yeah, so yeah, so just manual testing, yes.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's good enough. Like, just mention in your resume what sort of projects you have done back in India or wherever. Sorry, I just assume you are from India, but
Yeah.
just you can mention in your resume. And as I said, whenever you prepare a resume, tweaking, as in, I'm not just asking you to change your role or any technical information. I'm just saying that use the words that the agent is using in your resume so that they can relate to you very easily and contact them, call them. If they have any email address mentioned there, just email them personally. That way you get the calls for interviews and all. And I don't think anything is different from their like testing experience is all same. It's nothing different. Maybe you can, if you have manual testing experience, you can explore API testing. Like, I'm not saying go deep dive into API, but maybe there are YouTube courses, like not courses, short videos, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You can educate yourself and you can tell them in the interview that yeah, you have bit of the knowledge about APIs or
Yeah.
SQL. So that will really help. That will really help you in getting the calls and cracking the interview. Just know bit of everything, like a bit of maybe SQL, API, because these are booming. Like booming, as in it's asked more in India, Australia. That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying that these questions, and they look for SQL and APIs, especially APIs. There are very good videos in YouTube you'll find, which will be really helpful for you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so I think the short answer is yes, but you might have to first of all, like Neha said, if your resume has a lot of pages,
Mhm.
maybe write, make it correct to what Australian format is, like which is like less, highlight what's your achievements rather than whatever everything you have done. Get it reviewed if you feel like you're not getting calls. So I tell this to everyone, your resume's job is to get you an interview call. So some people keep on blaming resume even if they are getting the call and they are not getting selected, but that's not a resume fault, right?
Right.
That's something maybe in your screening call happened or something in your first round of interview, so that's another set. So if just make sure resume is good. API testing and SQL, if you don't have an idea already, get some idea because they are like short, sweet things that you can add to your
Yeah.
profile.
Yeah.
But yeah, the short answer is yes. And I think do your research like Neha did, right? LinkedIn Seek, you can access from India, from anywhere in the world. You can just
Yeah.
change the filter to Australia and look for jobs. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
yeah, sorry.
sorry. Just another question, like a follow-up question, like what technologies would you suggest for someone who is only worked with manual testing? Uh, for example, if they were to move to automation testing, if they wanted to, so what technologies would you suggest are currently in demand in the Australian market
Isha, do
from
you
your
want to comment? So
sorry?
automation, see, currently I'm just learning the Java and REST basically because that is the foundation, I would say.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of courses. I think Isha would be
Yeah,
right
we'll
person.
share. We have covered automated testing, like I said. So Harneet is a mentor on our group. She keeps doing these sessions like once or twice a year. Neha is more like a guest. She's also coming into automation testing. So she's currently focused on Java. But like Neha said, I would also suggest the same thing. First, find a job which with what you are comfortable in, and even if you learn Java and you end up doing Python, or you might be writing unit tests like functional testing, it won't, it's still a learning, right? It's a good learning. So it won't be,
Yes.
like you started, ended up on Selenium or something. It won't be like you lost the knowledge. So because at the end you're learning
Hmm.
how the code works in one language, but the syntax is different in another.
Yeah.
So if you are really keen to start something, you can start with anything which you can currently relate to. But there are jobs of all the kind in Australia, right? It's the
Yeah.
same. It's same like everywhere other in other parts of the world. So I'll share you with you, like, look out for that YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Wherever I share this video, you can go. Our channel name itself is Women in IT, and then you can look at all the videos inside there.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
And I think, sorry to cut off, Isha, but see, automation, there will be only one automation tester, but there will be at least 4 to 5 manual tester in the team. So I would
Okay.
say ki, try and get into manual testing first, try and get into the job. There are plenty of job. I know the market is not good right at this moment, but
Mhm.
eventually you will get in, and once you get in, then you can start pursuing maybe automation, and you can think like what you want to learn actually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
yeah.
Thank you both.
Thank you so much, Neha. We'll take this as last question. We were supposed to finish in 45 minutes, but I see one hand up. So Binal, go ahead, and I think that would be the last one. Yeah.
Hi Isha, hi Neha. So I'll just quickly ask my question. Like, it's for Neha. Like, what skills, different skills required for the manual testing? What would you suggest?
So I will say foundation level manual testing. There are courses that link. Isha has already shared the link. Go through those courses, learn manual testing, give the foundation level exam first, and then you can get into IT by preparing yourself for interviews and preparing resume. That would help you. So I would say foundation level. Just go with the foundation level first, and then you can upgrade your skills and all.
Is it the theory part mostly with the foundation level?
Yeah, so you'll have to learn the theory first, right? Like,
Yeah.
when you go through those courses, you'll get all the information into that, like what is testing and all kind of things are there into the courses. Actually, when I got into IT, I also helped my friends, and they actually learned through these links only, and they got into got into job, like they got IT job, the testing job basically. So yeah, go through the courses. Those are really nice course in Udemy.
All right. Thanks.
Sandhya?
Sorry, I just want to add on to that. This is Shaya. Hello, guys. Sorry, I joined a bit late. So, another thing is the soft skill, which
Mhm.
really needs to be added on. Like, I can see that, Neha, you're very confident and you have been able to crack it. So, one thing for the candidates is they really need to focus on their soft skill as well. Just knowing is not enough, at least in this country. It
Yeah.
just needs to be honed on with the star techniques and all that. That is also like around, I would say, 50% of how you tackle the questions. So that should definitely be a part, like go in for the presentations and all that. So just to add on to that point, sorry. Yeah, go
No,
for
No,
it.
thank you,
you're
Shai.
absolutely
So
right. Yeah.
Shai is she's our mentor and she's a senior test analyst based out of Sydney. So thank you for jumping in, and I think that's a good point you called out, which we missed. That it's about in Australia, it's a lot about the attitude and the confidence and what image we portray about ourselves. So yeah, Sandhya.
Hi Isha,
Neha,
hi
sorry,
Neha.
before I pass on to you, Neha, it's okay. We take one more
Yeah,
question.
yeah, sure, no
Can wait.
problem.
Okay. Yep, Sandhya, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be quick. Having an experience like in Australia, having manual testing experience, and also the ISTQB certifications, but still have the work gap. What you would suggest to come back into a career?
Yeah,
Because as Neha has mentioned, current market manual testing, I can't find much of the jobs. It's been a couple of more than couple of months I have started back to get back into the career, but I couldn't find much of jobs in the market.
Yeah. Are you saying you're not finding jobs or you're applying them and you're not getting the call?
I do get the calls, but actually I cracked an interview, but in the last minute it got cancelled. So, and again, I started from probably in the Feb onwards. But
Yeah.
after that, I am not getting much of the calls. Not much, actually, no calls at all.
Okay. Look, market is a bit down. I don't know, Neha, if you have anything to add there, but um, uh, market is a bit slow, what I've been hearing
Yeah.
in the industry, but February was not far away, and you know things work slowly in Australia.
yeah.
And maybe if you use the techniques that Neha said that earlier, maybe the market was a bit high, so reach out to the recruiters, email or phone number, and reach them out personally. Neha, if you want to add something.
Yeah, I think in Australia, it doesn't matter if you have break or not, to be honest. There are plenty of examples I've seen that they had gone on break for a couple of years, more than that also, and they have come back to their industry. So
Yeah.
that is not a problem. It's just the have patience and keep applying, keep the process. And I, as what was her name? Sorry, she mentioned
Yeah.
that upgrade work on your soft skills as well. That is very important. And you have the experience, you'll get the job. I'm pretty sure you'll get the job, but it's just the matter of time. Don't lose confidence. Keep working on your soft skill, keep working on your testing, like whatever knowledge you have, brushing up those knowledge and everything. And definitely, it's just the matter of time, you'll get the job. But
Yeah.
have patience. Sometimes the market is really slow. Sometimes you get slow response. So it's just a matter of time, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so right. But it's just that like currently as I said, I can't find much of the manual works. I know that people are asking for the automations, but still there are a few openings where they say it's like automation is just undesirable or knowledge should be enough, but it's more like they are still hoping that, or the question might be, are you interested in like coding or something? And
Yeah,
the
so
person who is not more interested into coding, what would be the career path for that? The next step can be.
I would say only coding. They are just. I think they just want to know if you are happy to learn new skills or not. They just want to see how willing you are, to learn new skills and how adaptable you are. Those kind of thing. I don't think they'll straight away put you into coding and teach you, like ask you to perform into coding. That's what I feel, Isha. Please.
No, I just want to say, Sandhya, I can tell you, I talk to a lot of BAs, testers, and all the people. In IT, there is no field where you will not need to continuously learn. So I think that's something, if you're coming back or coming, or if you're already in IT, you might have seen if you don't upskill yourself, you will get stagnant. So the right attitude to be in tech is to be open to continuously learn. I will be very blunt here because I don't want to give you false hope and say, no, you do this. And my BA friends are always upskilling themselves because there's a lot of business, related things that they need to learn. And even if not learn, like if you're doing the same thing, what a new fresher can do, what a uni student could do, they would not pay you that much salary, right? Why will they hire you? And if your skills can be offshore to any other country or something, they would do that because at the end they're running business, right? The main aim for them is to make sure that the project is running successfully with the good return on investment. So if you're coming into tech or if you are already in tech, then be prepared to upskill yourself. That's the thing I could say this.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No worries, all good. So I would say, Neha, let's take a stop here.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for coming. I'll stop the recording now.